Hello. How are we doing? I've changed my microphone slightly. Let me know if it's broken. It's so that I can do stuff like...
Hello, how's it going?
I hope that did something, otherwise I'll just sound weird. How are we all doing? Thank you so much, JC, for the sub. So much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And hello, Acid Flowers. How are you today? We are going back into the Meowseum mystery. I can't quite remember what we're doing. It sounds a bit what? Is it bad? Should I change it back?
Does it sound a bit like this? Is it not good?
I can change it back. Better? I can't do the chipmunk voice though. With it like this. Ooh, wait, was it echoing? Is that better? Is there an echo? Ooh, okay, yeah, I think I've got it twice. Hang on. Better? I might have fixed it. Much better.
And this still works, does it? I can still go like a chipmunk.
It's because it was there twice. For some reason. I set it up like 10 seconds before the beginning of stream, which is always a great idea when you try new things. So, yeah. Right. I don't really remember what we were doing with this. We'd finished 3 sections of it. And we still had 3 to go. So, I think we're basically starting kind of a new investigation, maybe? I don't know what I need to do. Is the thing. Probably need to go talk to some people, right? By the way, what I'm hoping to do with the voices is set a thing up whereby you guys can change my voice on a whim. But I haven't done that yet. This is just like a trial run.
With me being able to change my voice?
Just to see how it works. Oh, I remember it said maybe we can go and get the I mean that too, because I'm not very good at voices, so that is something I'd be able to do as well, is set up different voices for different NPCs. That would be quite cool, wouldn't it? So I think it said that the film might be ready from the camera, if I remember correctly. Yes, it's done. Cool beans. You know, you could have just told me the important details over the phone. You didn't have to drive out here again. Ah, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. Haven't you ever heard that, detective? Honk. As for this one, the angle's a bit skewed and it looks like it was taken in motion, so it's a bit blurry, but if you look right here, that's a tail! A thin white tail! The student in the sculpture gallery. According to his testimony, he would have been in the foyer when this photo was taken. That was a lie. Yeah. Don't we get to see the photo, though? Oh, do we? Ooh. We don't get to look at the photo. Yeah, there's a duck officer. Or is it? I think it might be a goose, because it honks. Honk. Oh, we have some evidence that discounts that. I see, that makes sense. Of course, she wouldn't have told me about the photo, considering how badly she wanted to hold on to the film. All's well that ends well, though. The film was just the thing I needed to crack this case wide open. Cool. So, yeah, we finished 3 of these. So, we need to talk to the student. Where was the student? Who was the student? What was the student? Student was the mouse, right? Who already lied about being friends with the victim. How do I run? There we go. Where was the mouse? Oh, I can talk to you. Salutations, detective. Have you solved the case? Nearly. Nearly. I hate to be too persistent on the matter, but are you positive you don't know anyone pictured here? I've given that some thought and I feel guilty. Would you allow me to be honest with you? I don't know why I couldn't bring myself to say so, but the technician I pointed out there, he was my father. He was... Oh, I see. I'm sorry for your loss. I respect your kind words, but they're not required. Some of my very early memories are within this museum, in a time before the curator took over. He loved this place, even with how infrequently he acknowledged it. I knew what he meant when he said there was no reason to ever retire. I spoke to the guard about him and he said as much. It sounded like he was well respected. Yes, I believe he was, but after many years, retirement was chosen for him. He didn't live long after that. He would always say, if I sit down now, I'm not going to be able to stand back up, but I never took that literally. My dearest apologies. I didn't mean to open old wounds. I know that can be hard. Hope you wouldn't mind if I move on to another topic. Okay. Oh. That accidental photograph proves I should investigate every potential... Finally, we get to do the vents. Aha! Gasp! I found it. The Optimist diamond in an air duct. Ooh! We found the diamond. A rolled canvas. Wait a second, I recognise this, but isn't it supposed to be hanging in the fine art gallery? Oh no, I've got the sinking feeling this case isn't as closed as I thought. I should show this to an expert I can trust. I mean, there's one right there. Oi, you! Would you mind taking a look at this photo and telling me what you see? Well, I don't really see much, detective. It's pretty blurry. What about right here? Does this thin white tail look familiar to you? You trying to say that's my tail? Yes, it does look pretty similar, but what of it? By all my calculations, this would put you in a pretty interesting place at a pretty interesting time. Maybe the student should be... this voice.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sure, you can see my tail, but there's no way to tell what's going on out of frame.
As much as you'd like to deny it, the implication is too strong. I'm giving you a chance to confess here before it's too late.
I've nothing to confess. I'm innocent. It's until proven guilty, isn't it?
You're right. So, I'll just have to prove it. Until then, I have other questions.
Okay, detective, if you say so. Detective, I saw you open the air duct over there. I know you've already found the diamonds, so you don't have to be so dramatic.
Is it working, by the way? Switching the voices. I can't hear the voices, so I hope it's working.
Once you had that photo, I knew my time was up, so cuff me or whatever you have to do.
Luckily for you, this case isn't closed yet. Good. I have a few threads that still need pulled, so you'll have a bit longer until I draw conclusions.
Heh, whatever you say, Detective, but I don't see how else this could really go.
Before I go, I have to ask, how did you do it?
It was easier than you think. Well, not too easy, considering we couldn't pull it off, but still, the punk opened the display, and I took the diamonds. Then, he went upstairs to create a distraction for me. After that, I just had to wait for the foyer to be empty and make my way out. But I heard the gunshot go off. We agreed it was only a last resort. I know he wouldn't have killed anyone, but it made me hesitate. When I decided to leave him behind, the doors were already locked. The security system was supposed to recognise him, but I guess that didn't work. So, I moved to the backup plan and tried to wait it out.
Hey K-Wolf, how's it going? I see. I have plenty more questions about this entire situation, so there's no sense in stopping now.
What kind of question is that, Detective? If I have a really good reason, it's not like it'll suddenly be okay.
No, probably not, but it can help me build a better picture of what's happened, and sometimes that can help. So please, be honest with me.
Well, it's worth a lot of money, you know. Split 2 ways, even 3, 4, 5 ways, that's still a ton. This is going to sound so cliche, but with that kind of money, the punk had finally paid for his surgery.
Surgery? For what sort of condition? I'm definitely going to mess up these voices at some point, by the way.
Something with his heart. I don't know much about the really intimate details. They don't bleed right, they have a weak pulse, some muscle deficiency. Look, I'm not a doctor, and frankly, I don't hold up well to anything medical. It's just bad, okay? This is the only way we really could have fixed it, I think.
Sounds a lot more redeemable than, say, buying a tropical island somewhere, don't you think?
Whatever. It doesn't matter now.
Perhaps it doesn't. Perhaps it doesn't. About the punk. You said you were friends. Would you mind telling me a bit more? I don't know what there is to say, and if you're just fishing for more evidence, well, I don't have to say anything either. No, I was hoping you could just tell me more about him. Would that be okay?
Like what? He was a punk through and through. All my other friends from university said he was just a bad influence. Maybe they were right. He apparently got me tied up in all of this, didn't he? Ah, no, that's not fair. Besides, I've known him for far longer than anyone, so what do they really know?
How long did you know each other? How did you meet?
We were just kids, meeting like any 2 kids do. I don't even remember what it was exactly. Probably trading cards or a video game. Kid stuff. Stuff that bullies would make fun of you for, at least until they got a swift right hook to the nose. Heh.
He had your back. I can understand that.
And I had his. Or, I was supposed to. At least enough to hold him back. Detective, I know this will sound strange, but I just don't want to hold on to this right now. It's hard to look at. Could you take it?
What is... Actually, that doesn't matter right now. Of course I can hold on to it. You shouldn't blame yourself for what happened. I know it's not that easy, but I hope you can trust me on that. Now, there's a few more things we can go over if you're up for it. About this painting, I happened to find it alongside the gemstone. Did you have anything to do with it?
You have to trust me, Detective. This time, I'm telling you the truth when I say I have no idea why that was in there.
So you noticed it was in there earlier this evening?
I did, but there wasn't enough time to think about it. Has it stumped you as much as it stumped me?
Unfortunately, yes, for now. After I make more inquiries with you, I'm going to get back to investigating it.
Okay, detective, if you say so.
How did you know to hide the diamond in the sculpture gallery?
We decided on it beforehand. I know it might seem like we were just a pair of amateurs, especially since everything fell apart, but we gave it some thought. Ugh, look at me. What am I even saying? Trying to justify that I'm good at being criminal. Truth is, we were hired to do it, but only the punk ever communicated with them. And they were prepared to deal with pretty much every contingency. They knew it all, except for the security system, I guess. Well, they told us about it, but the punk figured out how it actually worked, so we could get around it. I hacked his ID into the system remotely. It seemed really easy to accomplish in the moment, but in retrospect, that's why we had a backup plan.
And that was?
If, for some reason, I couldn't get to the front doors, or they were locked, which they were, I was supposed to go into the sculpture gallery and put it into the air duct. Whoever hired us was willing to have someone come through and pick it up later, but that's all we were told.
So presumably they would have had other means of entry. Perhaps they just needed someone to get it out of the display. Strange. Is it good? I'm going to have to watch my own stream back to see how it's turning out, because I'm not hearing my own voice at all. I'm gonna have to expand the voices that I've got and get voices for like in other games. Because I'm really bad at doing voices. I'm always jealous of people who can do voices, and I always forget what the voices are. So yeah, maybe I'll have to get a whole soundboard. And then I'll just be able to switch voices for whoever I'm doing, and I won't have to worry about it. But you guys will have to let me know when I accidentally leave myself on a silly voice. Otherwise, I'll be in trouble.
I mean, whatever you think, detective. Like I said, we had pretty explicit instructions, and it seemed like whoever they were, they had a lot of contingencies.
Not some amateur thieves is right. I've got a few other topics to address before I move on. I don't think I have, though. So it's only the mouse I've got a voice for today, I'm afraid. Sadly. Yeah, so you didn't try to hide. What do you mean that isn't right? Their own testimony. I guess we use the evidence of the diamonds. Of course, he was trying to hide the diamond he'd stolen. He stashed it in the air duct, but he couldn't have come up with this backup plan on the fly, right? I mean, yeah, we kind of know that. Yeah, so we've got the gemstone, and we've got that painting. But someone told us, didn't they, that there were a lot of fakes in this place. Yeah, but we don't know which one is the real one, I guess. Let's talk to you. I've discovered it under strange circumstances, so would you mind looking it over for me? Oh, I hope those strange circumstances weren't taking it off the wall and out of its frame. No, not as simple as that. I mean, it was literally right in front of you, my dude. The exhibit's still hanging right where you last saw it. That's because, the original's still hanging there because this one's a counterfeit. The inconsistencies are subtle, especially in this style. Why would something like this be here, detective? You know, don't you? I have my suspicions, but nothing definite yet, I'm afraid. I don't like this one bit. If you find out more, you'll tell me, right? Only what I'm at liberty to disclose, but I'll continue to rely on your expertise as needed. Well, if I were you, I'd look over any other artwork you've come across tonight. Who knows what else could have been missed? Good idea. So, do I need to look at every single piece of art again? Yeah, where should I even start with checking if there's... Who was it that told us that a load of them were counterfeit? Someone did. Whoops. But I do not remember who. Oh, I can talk to you again. Oh, and I can look at this again. Interesting. The placard. Plaque reads, Optimist Diamond circa 1700. You really gave me the runaround, didn't you, precious little stone? Regardless, I'm glad you're safe. The debris. You know, there are plenty more pieces of this statue lying about. Perhaps I should take the time to look over at least one more. This is all likely just wishful thinking on my part, but it couldn't hurt. There's a cat there. Picture of a cat. Is that not what I'm supposed to be seeing? Yes, it is. Oh, of course, I knew there was something else here. A second examination was necessary. I knew it, although a bit later than maybe I should have. Wasn't it the artist? It might have been the artist, yeah. I'll go and talk to them in a minute. There's no use dwelling on that now. This is an indication of forgery. A strange one, but I bet the guide will know more. About the film. I sent it to the station and had it developed. Most of the photos weren't relevant, but this one... Do you notice anything interesting about it? I hate to say this, detective, because I don't want to bust your bubble or anything, but it's real blurry. It's because it was taken in motion, falling from someone's frightened paws. Oh, I see what you did there. Is this your way of telling me that I was holding back important evidence? You super can't blame me though, right? Like, I could have gone so viral with that film. Actually, what are the chances I can get a copy? You'd do that for me, wouldn't you? I've already turned the film over to the police, so no, I don't think I'll be doing that. Ugh, so lame. Apologies. So do I need to look at everything again? I guess it'll have the exclamation mark thingy over it if I need to look at it again, right? Neither of those two people have got anything to say to me. I'm back here again. I get so lost in this museum. About this artwork. Now, I have my suspicions for this one, but I'd like to confirm just in case. Are these pieces of the miniature I never know how to pronounce that. Moai? Moai? Statue? Wait, you had a right to be suspicious, detective. Just look at this sculptor's stamp. It must also be a fake. Well, what's left of it anyway. That makes two counterfeit art pieces here in the museum, and this one was on display. Do you really think it could have been replaced by someone? You must have some idea. At this point, I think it's clear. There was something else going on behind the scenes, but I'm not sure what. Okay. I think I need to go talk to the curator, right? Yes. To an extent, I have. You'll be pleased to know that I've recovered the jewel. Oh my, wonderful. It can be returned to its podium and we can call it a night. Unfortunately, more questions have been raised in the process. I'm going to need to keep it for a bit and continue my investigation. Ugh, this better not be some bureaucratic tomfoolery you're pulling. I mean, I do pull a lot of tomfoolery, but generally not of the bureaucratic nature. Although I suppose the display case was broken, so the diamond might be more safe in your care. For now. I appreciate your understanding. I don't want to act too hastily and allow something like this to occur again. That's a concern I hadn't considered. Fine, but don't push your luck. You've already been sniffing outside my authority, and I've excused it thus far. As I've said before, I do what must be done in the name of true justice, however long it takes. Although, the officer probably has some crucial evidence ready that could speed this investigation up for you, Curator. Before I go check on that, I'd like to discuss other matters. Does that mean that I can go to the phone again? Yes. Okay, so we're just getting more words. About the alarm. Has anyone at the station been able to crack into those logs yet? You're in the luck. They just cracked it, and let me tell you, there's a lot here. Bad news is, there's far too much for me to relay over the phone. Oh, he's not coming over. The lab told me I could, under no circumstances, print out all these logs and take them to you. Something about being 8 months of the station's paper budget, but it's searchable at least. Do you have anything you think I could cross-reference with the logs? From the looks of it, there's timestamps, exhibits, registered aliases, among other things. Searching for a registered username will probably be the easiest, so I'll call back when I have something like that. Okay. So we need usernames. Oh, does that mean I can fill this in now? Okay, oh, good God. It's always hard when you've got, like, no words. Oh, this will be something like, so the student hid the diamond in the vent where a painting was also, right? And I think I decided this was easiest to do like this, wasn't it? If we got hid or stat hid the diamond gemstone in it's the sculpture gallery exhibit air duct where a painting was also stashed. Yeah. According to the guide, that painting was counterfeit. This will be the sculpture that fell, right? The sculpture that was shot and fell from the balcony was also a counterfeit. No. Maybe it's not a sculpture, maybe it's a statue. Aha. So is this the diamond was going to be stolen by the... Is it? The gemstone was going to be stolen. No, we haven't got stolen. Let's have another look here. When he overheard the argument begin upstairs, the student used the distraction to escape with the diamond. When they left the foyer, he began to leave with the quarry in his hand. Then he heard the gunshot, causing him to hesitate. The gun was only to be used as a last resort. Then the alarm was triggered, locking the door just moments before he could escape. Okay. So the gemstone was going to be... I don't know. I guess that's so the punk could be paid. No. I guess this is when he stole the gemstone, maybe. Maybe the student was going to be paid by the punk. Because we don't have, like... Yeah, the student hacked the computer, right? Hacked the... Oh no, hacked the ID of the punk into the computer. So the alarm could be... No. So the glass case could be opened. Yes. Student was going to be... Guys, if you've got any ideas, pipe up. I mean, we can test some things. None of this is helping. Okay, that wasn't right. So stole was better than old timer there. Okay. Paid is there. So surely that's got to be gemstone. The punk was going to be paid by the... Who hired him? Investor? Yeah. The curator, though, is in charge of the museum. Have we got swapped? Haven't got swapped. We've got replaced. No. Stole must be right there. Otherwise it goes red. Gemstone must be right there. Otherwise it goes red. So it's the names. Someone was going to be paid by the something. No. Ah, the punk was going to pay for the treatment. Maybe. The treatment. The... Debt? No. The mouse is the student. This has got to be the... Has this got to be something to do with the photograph? Yeah. Maybe I've got all the words, but we don't know all the things yet. Is there anyone else we can talk to about things? Not in here. 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 Where haven't I been? This place is such a maze. I've got a map. Euclid's twitching in his sleep. He's actually not falling off the shelf today, so that's good. I don't know if there's anything more to be found in here. No. It's got to be something about the gun. The punk was helped by the student or hired. Yeah. But we know that paid, stolen, gemstone are correct because it all goes red if I change those. Receipt and punk are the two that don't go red when I change them, so they're the two that are wrong, potentially. Only one of them might be wrong. Say hired. Oh, it doesn't like that. Although this might help because then if I get one of these right, it might go yellow. Right? Oh. Okay, so the punk was going to be paid. This is how we do it. I've lost paid. By the... We don't know who was behind it. Contract? Commissioner? As in not the actual commissioner, but... Oh, by the client. Right, according to the something something, his something was something causing the something to be something. That's got to be like the plan to be... No. This his gun was revealed or shot? Causing the glass case to be broken? Destroyed? But then, according to the something something... I guess it's got to be the computer logs, right? But we don't have the computer log. I can search the logs for username. If I can search the logs for username, I might have a lead, but where would I find something like that? Ah! I can inspect this again. Ooh, here we go. Right, okay, so we need to... We're looking for a username. Of course, I knew there was something else here. From the looks of it, this isn't your typical license. In fact, it doesn't even have his legal name printed anywhere on it. It looks more like an internet alias or something. Oh, could an alias like this be searchable in those security logs? Yes! This way. XX_monkey wrench_XX. It's definitely an early 90s internet username, or mid 90s or late 90s. It's a 90s internet username, isn't it? It's definitely a unique one. Oh wow, I see it right here. This thing even keeps fingerprint records. Makes sense. Look at that. I have an entry here that says the user matching that ID opened the gemstones display case earlier tonight. Good work as always. Okay. I may have spoken too soon. That username was registered, but then it was removed. Whoever did the removing was only registered a few minutes prior. Ooh! Get this, detective. That new mystery user? They opened 3 exhibits tonight, none of which were for the diamonds. Oh my! Can you derive any identifying information from their credentials? Ugh, the username's just a jumbled mess of characters. Maybe we could decode it, but I have a feeling that won't get us far. I'd say we're working against someone who has this whole plot perfectly planned. You're right, it won't be that simple. If you say so. As always, I'll be here if you need me. Okay, so somebody is making counterfeit artworks and then brain's gone blank. Swapping them. Of course, I knew the student intended to meet with the punk, but it wasn't just for a nice stroll through the exhibits. They meant to make sure the hacked security system would let the punk open the glass case and allow the student to take the diamonds. Indeedly doodly. So, this is, according to the computer logs, right? The computer logs. His ID was his ID was shrub. Replaced? I don't like replaced, but causing the... I want to say like causing the plan to be changed. but I don't feel like any of this is sayable with the words I've got. Or causing the alarm to be triggered. Uh-huh. So his ID was counterfeit? No. His... Again, we can change... Okay, so ID is correct there. Anyway, it is time for a break. So, we shall ponder this, and I will see you in a couple of minutes. We're back. Thank you for the review of my cafe, JC. So, let's try some things. Okay, so logs is correct. Is it ID logs? No. According to the museum logs? Office logs? Maybe there's too much wrong. But if I change logs, it goes to yellow. Maybe it's alarm logs. Yes, it's alarm logs. Okay. Is ID correct? Yes, ID is correct. Is dropped correct? No. His password? No. His ID was locked. Replaced? Ah, his ID was replaced. So now, if I put the right words in places, are we there now? Yeah, according to the alarm logs, his ID was replaced. I knew I was on something. I thought we were nearing a closed case, but this is a real mess. It's like I'm being led on some obscure scavenger hunt. Could it all be a massive conspiracy? No catnaps until we can say for sure. You hear that, Euclid? Euclid can't hear me because he's having a catnap. Ironic. Okay, so that's all sorted. So we've just got these things, so right. To be fair, he was already having a catnap before the no catnap. What? 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 Dude, you're dead. What are you doing? Oh, he's woken up now. No, he's going to sleep again. Euclid, no catnaps allowed. Oi. No catnaps. Am I being annoying? Am I being annoying? I am. Aren't you, dead? I'm not just saying things, am I? Nah. I'm real and still kicking. Just took a little nap on the floor there for a bit, I guess. I took your pulse and everything. Well, I've been told I have a pretty subtle pulse. Something with my heart, but I never listen to the medical jargon. So he wasn't dead. Everyone just left him there. Anyways, the podcaster over there, she filled me in on what's been happening since I was out. He was just knocked out. I think I'm supposed to do an interview about it. Didn't listen too well to that either, but I think I've got a solid excuse. Of course, how are you feeling? Been better, been worse. I should probably get checked out, but I'm sure it's fine. It's like I faked my own death. You did. You accidentally faked your own death. That's some real underground black market stuff right there. Does certainly add an interesting wrinkle. Would you be open to answering some questions about what you remember? Whatever, man. I'll do my best. Great. Who are you? Oh, you want to run through all the questions? Huh, alright, I just figured since you've been at this a while, you'd know enough by now. At this point, not only are you a suspect, you're a perpetrator and also a valuable witness. And an ex-victim? Can you be an ex-murder victim? So yes, I will likely need to run through all the questions. Ah, so you got to the bottom of all this, huh? Guess I shouldn't be too surprised. I know you and the student were hired by a client to steal the Optimist diamond, if that's what you mean. Damn, here I was hoping maybe I could still take the fall for him. At least, not literally this time. From the sound of it, you two are quite close. Is this familiar territory? Not for him. For me, sure, but this job was best suited for two and he had the skills necessary. Not to mention it was obviously a huge score, so splitting it with him was easier to swallow and he wouldn't stab me in the back. You have other associates then? Does this include your clients? It's a network. I'm sure you're at least somewhat familiar, Detective. But nah, the client? I've never heard of him before. Interesting. There is a few more questions. No use holding back. What do you do? You mean besides getting mixed up in this sort of situation? I do work for a body shop, you know, for bikes and cars. Is that how you got involved with the biker club? In a roundabout way, yeah. Everybody knows everybody in those circles, at least in this city. And that network you mentioned, is this connected to that? There's overlap, but if you're after the clients, they're not regular fare. I don't know much about them. They had all the walls up. Students said they provided some pretty crucial information about the museum. You didn't think anything of that? Unless they pay us for it, clients bring their own intel, so no, seems standard. They didn't know about the security system, is that correct? Yeah, I thought that was weird, but we figured it out. That alarm wasn't our issue. We were just unlucky. Things went south. Seems that way, but there might be more details we can work out about why. No use holding back, Detective. What were you doing? Leading up to everything, well, I came to the museum alone, paid admission for myself and the students. I knew he wouldn't have any money on him. Wandered around a bit, checked everybody out, eventually met him where the diamond was, and went over the whole plan again just to be safe. Is that when you decided to instigate an argument with the old-timer? As a distraction, yeah, but I don't know, he was a bit too eager to start something. So he's the one who brought a gun. Look, I never meant to use it. It was like a backup of a backup plan. A last resort. The old-timer surprised me, so I just wanted to get him to back down is all. I need you to know I never intended to use it against anyone, just a little bit of intimidation. Then why was it loaded, my dude? How did that go for you? Not great. That's on me. You bring a loaded gun... You're basically intending to shoot someone. You brandish a loaded gun. You'd better be intending to kill someone. Otherwise, you're in trouble. I mean, you're in trouble if you kill someone. But you know what I mean. Like, don't wave a gun if you're not planning on shooting it. And don't wave a gun at anybody. Exactly. Don't wave a gun at anybody unless you are intending to kill them. If you're intending to just threaten them and don't want to kill anybody, it shouldn't be a loaded gun. At least you recognise that now. Let's continue on to the rest of the evening then. No use holding back. Yeah. Well, I would say having it concealed... means you've got the intent of potentially needing it. Like, why would you have a gun with you if you were thinking that there's no... If you're thinking there's a 0 chance of you shooting someone, you don't need a loaded gun on you, do you? Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, Americans are just... I don't understand American gun culture. As someone in the UK where guns just aren't really a thing. Doesn't make much sense to me. But, in my opinion, if you have a loaded gun on your person, the only reason for doing that is because you think there might be a reason to use it. Otherwise, why have it? And if you think there might be a reason to use it, what you're really saying is, I might need to kill someone today. So therefore, I have a loaded gun on me. Like, I don't know. I mean, knives, having a knife as a tool is a bit different. Because a knife can be used for something that's not murder? Whereas really the only... Unless you're hunting with a gun, in which case that's a different kettle of fish. But in my humble opinion, the only reason other than hunting for having a gun is shooting people. So every time you carry a gun with you, what you're basically saying is there is a non-zero chance of me shooting someone today. Otherwise, why have the gun? That's all I'm saying. And if you are carrying a knife for not tool purposes, if you're carrying a knife for like defense reasons or whatever, statistics show you're more likely to get killed than not if you've got a knife on you for defensive whatever purposes. But B, if you're not carrying it around with you for the purposes of using it as a tool, again, you're basically like, there is a non-zero chance of me stabbing someone. Right? I don't know. I could be completely wrong and sheltered and whatever, but that's just my opinion. Just don't stab people, don't shoot people, just don't do it. All of which I say to the punk of like, if you weren't ever planning on using it, why have it? Well, after I pulled out my gun, like I said, that old timer shook off a decade or two and really started a fight. I mean, you gunner! Someone points a gun in your face. I kept my distance, but he was adamant about getting physical, so the ball spilled out onto the courtyard balcony. He got the advantage, shoved me against the wall. Before I knew it, we were struggling over the grip of the gun, and this is how people get shot in the face. I wasn't planning on using it, but I couldn't tell you who really pulled the trigger. Exactly. Luckily, it didn't hit anyone. One way or another, the recoil put me off balance, and then he broke my grip against the stanchion. It was empty, so I let it drop into the courtyard. The rest is a bit of a blur, Detective. I must have taken a good hit or something. Next thing I know, I'm waking up on the floor. The ground floor. Broadly speaking, that lines up. It does. About your ID card. Unfortunately, I can't return it just yet, but I was curious. It's for a biker club, correct? Yeah, you could call it that. A couple of guys at the garage got me into it, because a bunch of the old bars have gone under by now. Nobody likes it, and they put stupid fake names on our ID, but they serve drinks and got darts, so I don't complain too much. I was wondering about that. Monkey Wrench seemed fairly on the nose to me. Yeah, nothing other than formality. All of us treat it like a joke. Folks that run the place want to have that speakeasy vibe, but it doesn't really work. Okay. About these logs, they confirm you were registered with the museum's security systems. How did you do it? The student did. I told you, he had the skills necessary, didn't I? He's a wizard with a computer. I don't understand what he did. Something with a backdoor and bad encryption. He found a way to remote in and made easy work of it. The two of you have quite the rap sheet tonight. You know that, don't you? It was always a risk, Detective. Just didn't pan out this time. Besides, we always said we'd either get rich together or go down together. Just had hopes it'd be the former. I've heard that one before, sadly. There were other inquiries. No, there were not. Oh, yes, there were. About the students. What about him? We're close. So what? You mentioned he could handle the security system. What did you mean by that? Apparently, it's infamous for having some fatal flaws. Something about networks and encryptions. It's sold as state-of-the-art, but it's all talk. Still, there was no way I could have dealt with it myself, and he's trying to make a decent living with all that computer stuff. Figured it was worth a shot. So you ask him to tamper with the alarm of a prestigious institution and he's immediately on board. We've been inseparable since we were kids. A few years ago he found out what I was up to on the side and didn't immediately disown me. Honestly, I was against it at first because I didn't want him getting involved in this type of work, but he was adamant he could get it done. Besides, he wouldn't have let me pay off all those loans he's got unless he earned his cut. I knew that for sure. Did your client know anything about the student hacking the security system? Never said they did, but as long as we got the job done, who cares? From what I can tell, I think they did, but I've more inquiries to make before I can be sure. About this painting, I found it alongside the diamond, but the student didn't know why. Was it part of a plan you were aware of? Whoa, no way. We were told to come in and get the jewel detective. Didn't hear anything about a painting. And this client of yours, did they inform you of their intentions with the gemstone? Not really, and I didn't ask, but do you really have to? It's pretty obvious. Setting up for a big payday, don't you think? That's what I assumed, but you can't ever be too sure. Huh. Well. That changes some things. The fall was not fatal. In all my years as a detective, I don't know that I've ever corrected a testimony this obviously wrong. When the punk fell, he didn't die, he was just knocked out. I would know, I've spoken to him. Indeedly doodly. Okay. So now what? Can't talk to either of you. I could go and talk to the, what's his face again? Oh? We can look at more vents. Stone-faced statue. Never saw the exhibit in one piece, but this seems identical. There's no strange stamp on the underside, so it's safe to assume this is the original and the one down there is the replica. There's something else in here too. Not canvas though, it just looks like a piece of paper. It's a note, neatly written, but I'm not sure what it means. Back on a classic trail of clues, detective, just like the old days. What does it mean? Ooh. String of 10 numbers. Okay. Are there any more vents anywhere that I can look at? Nope. Hey, good news! You didn't kill a guy. Do you know anything about this medication? Not for any particular reason, such as your advanced age. You weren't supposed to say that last part out loud, detective. Let me take a look. Yeah, I think so. Might be one of those drugs my doctor recommended. What did they prescribe it for? Do you remember? They didn't prescribe it, first of all. I don't need to depend on a bunch of pills. Certainly don't want to keep track of them all. Sure, but what do they attempt to prescribe it for? Blood pressure, I think. Doctor mentioned something about anxiety, but I was already tuned out. You don't say. Okay. So they are blood pressure pills. About this ID card, you wouldn't happen to recognise anything about it, would you? I reckon the tourist is probably the big bad, right? Because he used to be in the mafia, didn't we find out? I do, not that I can tell you much. I've seen the logo before, at least. Overly designed, if you ask me, especially for a low-tier biker club. A biker club? What do you mean? I'm sure you're familiar with the concept, detective. There's just a bunch of names for them. I don't know what these folks get into specifically. Could be anything from just tuning their bikes and going on rides to slinging high-grade oil, if you catch my meaning. Anything in between. I'd have to assume that's a bite bigger than you could chew in one night, Detective, especially since you've already got your paws full here. Ho ho ho! I do, don't I? Well, in pursuit of resolving this mess, I've got some inquiries to make. Sure. About this note, it doesn't look like much to me, a string of 10 random numbers. Do you recognise them? No, I don't think so. We have internal identifications for the exhibits here, but I'm not familiar with anything in this format. Wishful thinking, I suppose. There must be someone who knows. Oh, mouse. Do these 10 numbers mean anything to you?
Do they mean anything to me? Of course they do. Several things. Empty wallets, sore shoulders, and all-nighters. I've poured so much time and money into numbers like that for one purpose. Keeping the exploitative system of education alive. Textbook after worthless, heavy, and incomprehensible textbook.
Are you insinuating that this configuration of numbers is for identifying books? Do you happen to know which book specifically?
Don't be ridiculous, Detective. First of all, I don't have the mental fortitude to remember any of them. But also, there are infinite books out there.
I'll have to find someone who can look it up in a database or something. Actually, come to think of it, I know just the person. Is that the, what you call it? Police. Oh, the bookstore. Oh yeah, we got the bookstore like a bajillion years ago. Considering my milky stupor from yesterday, I know they keep late hours, but let's hope it isn't too late. Good evening, Book Gator on second. What can I do for you? Hello, sorry to bother you again. Detective, I didn't expect you this time. Have you gotten yourself into another mess? Luckily, no, but I am unravelling a pretty complex case, an actual crime, and I've got this clue I'm not sure what to make of. I can't disclose too much, but I've got this series of numbers here and reason to believe it's for identifying a book. Does that bring up anything? Yeah, it seems to be for the first edition of the De Viper Code. Ooh. You know, my father was a huge fan of that book, actually. Of course, I know all about it, but let's say, hypothetically, if I didn't. Yeah, hypothetically, I would tell you it's a mystery novel about religious history, famous artwork like the Mare Lisa and so on. Huh, you don't say. I think that might be exactly what I needed to hear. I can't thank you enough. Nice. Okay, but also... this was black. Oh. Alright then. Whatever. Are there any more inspections I need to perform? No. Let's go find the Mare Lisa. Oh, draconian devil. Oh, lame saint. Where was it? Aha. Another note. Ooh, them's coordinates. Okay, but we need to go find the... you. How do I get down? Excuse me. About this note. I have another set of numbers here, about 16 in total, separated very deliberately. Do you know what they could mean? Oh gosh, no, this looks more like a riddle than anything I've ever worked with. Nothing comes to mind. Okay. Student? Nope. Artist? Nope. Tourist? Ah, yeah, the tourist might know, coordinates. I'm following a trail of clues, but I've hit a bit of a dead end. Can you make any sense out of these numbers? Detective, you've come to the right place for this one. This here is what experts in the tourism business call longitude and latitude. And no tourism professional would be caught out in the cold without their global positioning device. Just gotta punch him in. 29, 58, 31, 08. Don't forget the 2, of course. Aha! There it is. Only about a 13-hour flight. When do you want to book the tickets, Detective? Sooner than later, I bet. Wait, no, I don't. Oh, Detective, you're still such an easy mark. Besides, I've already been to the pyramids on this trip. Ooh, the antiquities. A wonderful Jake. I might have a few things. Yeah. Horus statue. Check all my notes and then attempt to draw conclusions and talk to the guide. Okay. About the forgeries. Without any more notes, it seems like the trail has gone cold. That's a shame, but you've recovered 2 almost stolen pieces of art, Detective. Nothing to shake a snout at, if you ask me. Of course, still a victory, but unless you can get them to talk, we might be at a dead end. I sure can't, but I've been thinking. Clearly, someone was trying to steal the art, right? They'd swap in fakes from the air duct, and no one's the wiser. And from what you've told me, no air duct had more than one piece, except in here. Not to mention we haven't found a counterfeit diamond. Maybe they really aren't related. 2 heists in one day would be peculiar, but not impossible. Besides, don't you have some fancy forensics equipment you can use? With all this extra evidence now, surely there's something to be done. I mean, you'd think. Also, can you imagine if you'd, really carefully planned a heist? Done all the heistage planning, and then you started your heist, and someone else was heisting on the exact same day. You'd be like, for crying out loud. Have to ask the officer what could be done. Okay, so now we go to the telephone. It would be a comedy type of coincidence. I suppose at least if you're heisting different things, so long as your plans didn't intersect too much, it'd be alright. I found a few forgeries along with some authentic pieces as well. I was wondering if the department has any equipment for analysis. I'm sure the process is lengthy and complicated, but if it's possible to lift some paw prints, we might be able to deduce some important information. We could even compare them to those registered in the alarm system's logs. That could really triangulate this puppet master. Officer, are you there? Hello? Got stuck in traffic on that trip, Detective. Thanks for being patient. Well, as I was saying, and you weren't hearing, apparently, I imagine this process is going to be arduous. Arduous? No way. I've got the mobile analyzer with me right here in the cruiser. Technology's come a long way since you were in school, Detective. Don't you know that? Let's get a baseline first. Something we can use as an incriminating reference. Luckily, with all these art pieces I've collected, we've got several to compare. Let's see what that brings back. Oakley-dokley. Oh, nice. What other evidence should I use for comparison? Ideally, something touched by the same suspect as all this artwork. I mean, we've got so many things. There's a couple of items here. Some medication, a receipt, and a business card. They belong to the punk, but the podcaster took them after he fell. Nothing. Okay. The gun. Nope. Okay. Tourist film. Nothing. Backroom keys. Oh, the analyzers found a match. 2 matches, actually. The authentic pieces have a set of prints that match the keys, but they aren't on the forgeries. The second set of prints is on everything. That's your culprit. Unfortunately, there's no way to know which prints belong to who. The guard isn't involved with the museum's artistic business. The curator's alibi is fully corroborated. That would mean these keys really don't belong to him. They belong to the guide who misplaced her set a week ago. Wait a minute, detective. Didn't you say the artist had them? How's that possible? That's my question. I hate to analyse and run, but I have a case to close. So it's the artist. So there's something... Right, the artist's dad used to work at the place and loved the place and then got sacked, question mark? So maybe the artist is trying to steal all the artwork from the place to discredit the place? Because they're not taking the real artwork away, they're just hiding it, right? Something else happened on the balcony. What have I found there? The forged artwork? Is that not what I said already? I don't know. Okay, that one makes sense. While the argument may already have begun in the fine art gallery, he still had to finish what he started. It was only after he got the counterfeit painting framed and hung that he could make his way downstairs. Okay. Maybe I need to get back on the balcony. You're right, Euclid. Euclid's currently a bit grumpy because every time he falls into a deep sleep, his head flops off the shelf he's on. I mean, we found... the fragments of the statue? Ah, he did come across a bit odd, but counting dinosaur bones was a bit of a leap. Now that I know he swapped the statue on the balcony, the rest of his story is likely to fall apart. Okay, so we need to go find him. I don't remember what room he's in. Ah, is he in Antiquities? Yes. Salutations, Detective. Have you solved the case? I mean, nearly. You see, there's just a couple of threads left and it's proving quite difficult to tie them together. That was until I started to notice a subtle connecting string. Oh? Please enlighten me, Detective. I'm very interested to hear your theories. I'll begin with the obvious. Someone here tonight attempted to steal the Optimist diamond. A task that would require a sufficient distraction, but little did I know the museum was equipped with a state-of-the-art security system. This would have thwarted their plan unless they were warned ahead of time, perhaps even prepared. Obvious indeed, but your interpretation is very astute, Detective. It's just the beginning. In actuality, the gemstone wasn't the only target, but considering its value, why would they need anything else? Unless the diamond heist was a misdirection so that someone else could swap various art pieces with forged copies. But that begs the question, why wasn't the diamond replaced with a counterfeit? Aside from the fact it's highly unlikely it could be reproduced, it's more likely to assume the diamond wasn't a misdirection but a distraction. I believe the jewel thief wasn't even aware of the other's presence, a textbook example of a framed criminal. I would be lying if I said I wasn't enamored with your line of thinking, but I sense you've hit a roadblock. Oh, I did. That connective string I mentioned, the second thief. Then, suddenly, everything clicked into place. Everything. Even more threads than I originally realised. The former staff, the contract, the keys, the notes. Any half-rate detective wouldn't have seen the puzzle through the pieces. So please, since you've so carefully laid them out for me, consider this your opportunity to confess. Yes, it was me. I'm the so-called second thief, Detective. I knew I could count on you to figure it out. I'll give you a moment to reflect on that, and then I'll freely answer any questions you have. Good. Now, let's get into the details. I mean, that was easy. Did the scheme of yours have anything to do with the curator? It had everything to do with them, Detective. In fact, only half of it was mine. The other half was theirs. They hired me to carry it out, and they never realised who I was. What do you mean? Or did they hire someone to steal their own exhibits? You've heard about this investor, haven't you? The curator signed with them a few years ago, and it's dug them into quite the hole. So the curator wanted to sell the pieces of art. Of course, I've never heard their true motivation on the matter, but how else were they going to pay off these enormous debts? And if all their precious exhibits were relinquished as collateral, what's the point in saving an empty museum? So they'd replace only a few with counterfeits and hope they'd sell enough to cover the sunken investments. Now you understand, Detective. It's vile, twisted, and an absolute betrayal of anyone who ever cared about this place. I can see your point. But I have a feeling there's more to discuss on this. About the punk, how did he get mixed up in all of this? When I caught wind of the curator's schemes, I formulated my own plan, but required assistance. I would need to hire a thief of my own, one who wouldn't know an impossible job even if it yanked their tail. So what, you were going to carry out the curator's heist and have someone else room in it? I had no other choice. It would have been more difficult and less successful if I had thrown the job myself. And the students, an interesting surprise actually, only hired the punk, but apparently they were a package deal. They might have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky kids. I mean, hacking their way into the alarm system, but I made sure those two hooligans would absolutely unravel under pressure. You did your part too, Detective. I can't thank you enough for that. What was my part exactly? Someone had to make sense of all this mess, follow the breadcrumbs all the way to the deep-seated injustices within. You really are as good as they say, you know that? Well... I'm not sure how to take that, but I think there might be a few details left. I mean, maybe. What really happened? I found all the art pieces you swapped, but I assume you're up to more than that. Besides the few small ways I could tip the scales, the plan was largely operating of its own accord. There's no sense in being secretive now, so what did you do? Well, when the guard came through the courtyard, I didn't intend to get in his way. But he really didn't see me, and I didn't make an effort to move. Of course, it was plausible he would have dropped his keys then. Some would say it could have appeared that way. But those keys I gave you, most of them were random scraps. In fact, the only one that mattered actually belonged to the guide. Right, I came to that conclusion as well. What else did you have a hand in tonight? Did I mention I saw the student with the gemstone? In the foyer, actually, just after he'd realised the doors had been locked down. According to the plan, I would not have known the student was involved, but from the balcony, I noticed him and the punk setting up to steal the diamonds. You really were quite the orchestrator in all of this, huh? Thank you for the lurk, JC. Seems like there's always another question for you to answer. Oh, that's it. Okay. Well... Right, so to have the something to the something. We've still got one more to go after this as well. Is this what's stolen? Revealed? I don't know. To have this something to the something, the someone planned to have some... Is it antiquities replaced with it now? Some... We don't have many plurals. I feel like it's replaced with a counterfeit and then sold. To have some artwork. And it's the curator. In order to have their debt to the investor paid, maybe. Yes. The curator planned to have some artwork replaced with a counterfeit and then sold. They were in order the... So the last one was the statue. Right. Hello, hello. How are you doing, Iranian mapping mill? It's an interesting name. In the... Is that with the gemstone in the air vent? No, that it was a painting in the air duct with the gemstone. Something in order. I don't know the order. What's this game about? We are solving a heist, but we've kind of done all the solving, but I still don't know what the answer is. Like, I know what happened, but I don't know what the answer is to the fill in the gaps thing. What am I doing? Swapping the authentic statue with its replica, stashing it within the nearby air duct on the balcony of the natural history exhibit. After you completed the swap, you confronted, yeah. He was swapping the painting on the courtyard balcony. Okay. So... he did the statue, and then he did the courtyard. Does that help me? I don't know. Oh, so it's a statue from the antiquities balcony. Painting from the courtyard. The something. I don't know. Too many paintings. Right. Okay, so statue is correct. Antiquities might be wrong. Yes, antiquities is wrong. What did it say? Natural history. Yeah, okay, so that's right. Is balcony correct? No, so that wants to be exhibit. Okay. Painting was correct. Courtyard was correct. This is a very brute forcey way of doing it. I am aware, but... Okay. Okay, so that was wrong. Sculpture, maybe? Because there was the Horus statue, wasn't there? Counterfeit's correct. Air duct is correct. Gemstone is correct. Painting is correct. Painting's correct there. Courtyard is correct. So it's just this word that's wrong. Key? Somebody forgot someone had met before. I guess the curator? Because it was the son of the historian, the artist, who was hired. Who was I don't know. Anyway, it is time for a break. Everybody have a think about this, and we will come back ready to solve it in a couple of minutes. I will see you then. buddy. Lou, I hope you've all been thinking hard about it, because I haven't. Maybe it's not painting in the air duct. Did we check air duct? We did. Air duct is correct. I don't understand how they're, like, all wrong. No, how there's only one wrong, when there has to be two wrong, right? I don't know, this is making my head hurt. Yes, the statue's right. Natural history's right. Ah, exhibit isn't right. Balcony? Maybe. Yes, That needed to be balcony, not exhibit. Okay. So... Is it the gemstone? No. Don't know what this last one is. The... Artifact? Oh, maybe artifact. Yes! Oh! Right. Okay, so artist was correct. But then... Okay, so sun is now correct. Ah, was it not the historian? Son of the mechanic. Thought it was the historian. Alright, I got that wrong. Okay, in turn, the... So in turn, the artist became the client of the punk. So the punk would be framed when he stole the gemstone. Or not. This would ultimately cause the... something plan. I want to say whole plan, but I don't think I've got whole plan. The... underground plan? We haven't got solved. So it must be revealed. The... the what plan? Counterfeit plan? Yes. Okay. So artist there is correct. Client is correct. Punk is correct. Maybe it's when he stole the artwork? No. Gemstone was correct. He would be paid? No. He would be maybe that needs to be artist. Would be forgot. Would be safe. Would be yeah. Okay, so framed is definitely wrong. Revealed. So that the contract? The let's say the plan would be revealed. The painting would be revealed. No. The detective would be called, maybe? Right, so it's definitely the artist became the client of the punk. And it's definitely stole the gemstone. So we could make that wrong and then we'll know when we get one of these right. The alarm would be triggered. Yes! Ah. That was hard. Thank you for the hydrates, Cable. So, thank you. I was not thinking about this in the right way at all. Basically, the frog, the artist, wanted the plan to be discovered. So, wanted the alarm to be triggered. So, that's why they hired... That's why they hired the punk. When I received the call for this one, I never would have expected how deep it could go. I've all the major points covered now, but some of the suspects might have more to say about it. Maybe I should be open to interpreting this at more than face value, but technically I have enough information for a final verdict. I should be careful though, there's no going back once I make a decision. Okay, well let's go round and talk to everybody then. Because it said we should. You don't want to talk to me. Fine. You do. I apologise it's taken this long, but I'm quite the curious cat, you see. Not to say that you weren't helpful, but it seems you've kept certain details to yourself. In all honesty, if you'd been more forthcoming, I may not have discovered what I did. I'll just spit it out, will you? Enough with the theatrics. You planned to have some of the museum's exhibits fenced, did you not? The museum has been struggling for years and you needed to pay off those debts. You think I wanted to sell my collection? To what? Some dingy back alley black market? Huh. How dare you assume so lowly of me, detective? Did I make some poor decisions in the past? Yes, of course I did. But I wouldn't ever stoop so low. By poor decisions, you mean signing a contract with Fennec Financial? And the fallout afterwards. It was my fault. I would always have admitted that. I let down my family, my staff, but my art, it was the last thing I truly had. If I had to watch that investor waltz through here, picking out pieces to decorate his office bathroom, the final shred of my soul would have died. Maybe it means nothing in the end, but I was planning to have them sold to collectors, critics, other artists, historians, true appreciators of the craft. That's all I meant to do. And now it's all been ruined. I told you this museum hinged on this, and now it will all be his. So finish writing whatever you must in that notebook of yours and take me away before I witness it. I'm sorry, but I would be considering this a confession. Yeah. You don't have anything to say. 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 I think that's like everyone, right? The following suspects are hereby considered under arrest of law at the jurisdiction of Feline Forensics Private Detective Agency as substantiated by probable cause. Ooh, less than or equal to six suspects. Okay, so who's in trouble? The artist is in trouble. The curator is in trouble. The punk and the student. I think that's everybody. Is the investor bad? I mean, I know they're bad, but did they break the law? Or were they just being a douchebag investor? Curator, their negative reputation, continually preying on various artistic communities and creators. Yeah. I don't know. They are a douchebag. 100%. But I don't think they've necessarily done anything illegal with regards to this. What did they this say? In a last-ditch effort to save the museum, the curator signed a predatory deal with a corporate devil. So I don't think it's illegal. I think it's just shitty. So I think I'm gonna go with just this. It's quite uncommon that a mystery like this unravels into such a strange game of criminal telephone. The curator hires the artist, who hires the punk, who brings on the student, and each had a critical role in what occurred tonight. It's been quite the evening, but it's time to call this in and finally close the case. So this is them, Detective, the culprits behind our museum mystery? Afraid so. Any last words before the officer here takes you away? I wouldn't dare sully the moment for you. In my heart, I know I have my reasons. And moreover, I know I'll never be half the criminal of these fools. Big talk for someone who's headed to the same doghouse as us, huh? And you speak as if you've not simply fallen into the ploy of puppeteers.
Oh yeah? What's that supposed to mean? Don't give us some holier-than-thou act now.
Oh, would you all just do us a favour and quit your bickering? Huff. So that's it, Detective? Case closed? Yeah, as it turns out, there's only one thing you can't keep in a museum. And that's the truth. So I guess we got it right then. Wonder what would have happened if we'd put the investor in there. Here's a question. Did I get all the achievements? Because that generally tells you some things, doesn't it? I did not get all the achievements. So there's achievements for different combinations of culprits that you choose. There's one for arrest every possible culprit, one for arresting only the curator, one for attempting to hold the investor accountable, attempt to frame the detective, let one of the amateur thieves walk free. Click the pen once for each of the detectives 9. Like, click the pen? Did I see a pen? Was there a pen? Can we go back, I wonder? Does it save? Can we see what happens if we arrest other people? Or would I have to play through the whole thing again? Aha! So, let's see if we can get all the achievements. It was me all along. Wait, there's no way I was responsible for 2 mysteries tonight. It's a funny joke, but this is an official document, so I should treat it more seriously. Oh, okay. Not you then. What if we do the investor? I can click the pen. Yeah. Cool. That's that achievement. What if I sign it as someone else? Oh. I just always sign it as me. I certainly can't argue with that logic. But unfortunately, I don't have enough tangible evidence to prove it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Besides, the investor isn't even here, so I should provide a verdict that's more immediately relevant. Okay. So... however they may attempt to justify them, the curator's actions are at the centre of this strange scenario. Without them, none of this, including any subsequent infractions, would have happened. It's been quite the evening, but it's time to call this in. Okay. So this is them, Detective, the culprit behind our museum mystery. If that makes me some half-rate criminals, so be it. Okay. Did that... oh, and then the frog's there in the... the frog wasn't there before, were they? I guess because we... arrested them? Is that all the achievements then? Did I get them all? No. We need to arrest more people. And we need to let one of the amateur thieves walk free. Okay. So, you and you and this might be very wrong. I think that's... I guess the podcaster interfered with a crime scene. Not the investor. Okay, so the podcast is okay. No. The old timer? For the fight? When I arrived at the museum tonight, I didn't imagine I'd be leaving with more than half the suspects in cuffs, but here we are. From a fraud scheme to heist plan to assault to petty theft. There we go. Okay. So, we're not arresting them for their part in the crime. Hi, Nay! How are you doing, Nay? It's been quite the evening, but yeah. Yeah, so I guess the last two weren't involved in the heist, but they did do crimes. Oh man, this is going to make for some amazing subscriber-only content! You're mind blown. Literally in a good day for 2 days now. Good? Good days are good. Would you all just shut your dang traps already, humph? Okay. So that's locking everyone up. And now we need to let one petty criminal go. Oh. A very empty photograph. When you arrest everybody. Right, one more. One more! So I guess we arrest you. We arrest you. We arrest you, but not the student. Yes. Cool. I ain't gonna see nothing I haven't seen before. So there we go, guys. I'm hoping that's all the achievements. It is all the achievements! Yeah! I quite like that. That you can... There is a right answer, but you can choose how many of the culprits you arrest. I think that's quite good. That's quite a nice ending. That, like, we could say, yeah, let's arrest everybody who did any crime, no matter how small. Or we could say, let's just arrest the big dog. Or we could arrest a combination of the people. I think that's quite good. So that do be that. And that, my guys, is the end. So it's been a short stream. 2.5 hours, but, I mean, that's the end of the game. So, I guess we just find someone to raid now. Oh yeah, share with us what happened, eh? Letting the artist go is good. Can be argued yeah, it could be argued that. And I suppose technically he didn't steal anything, but he did hire the other two. So I feel like locking up the two the punk and the student while not locking up the guy who hired them to do the crime is a bit weird. So I think if we're letting the artist go, we would also have to let them two go. Because
the poor little mouse. You can't lock up the poor little mouse if you're not locking up the other people too, I think.
But maybe that's just me. What am I doing? Finding someone. You uploaded 2 videos, one thing to... Nice! That is awesome. I had a video blow up on YouTube the other day as well. It got like 2,000 views in a week. It's awesome. But yeah, well done me. Right, let's see if we can find someone to read. I know, right? It's so bonkers. It's so bonkers how just sometimes things hit and sometimes they don't, and there's no logic to it, I don't think. Let's go hang around with JD, shall we? JD is always a good time, still playing Toem. Let's go there. No worries, Nay. And by the way, anybody, if you're not following Nay, go follow Nay. Nay is awesome. I don't manage to catch Nay's streams as often as I would like to. Sometimes lag. But yeah, Nay is a good time. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Copy the raid message, paste it when we get there. Streams during the week are going to be a bit hit and miss. I'm going to try and stream something during the day tomorrow, probably. And then I'm away for a few days. And then I'm back in time for the weekend. So, just keep an eye out, I guess. Hopefully, we'll be streaming Sherlock Sunday. Don't know what we'll be playing. Obviously, we finished this, so not this. But some other detective game, so I hope to see you then. Until then, bye-bye.